Hi Simply Church, Dave here. I hope you've had amazing weeks. I hope the Holy Spirit's been speaking to you and inspiring you with the things that God's saying and doing at the moment, and that your just love for Jesus is growing. It's just been great to be meeting in our home churches and sharing together, doing life together, getting to know each other more, and just keep seeking God of how we move forward. This Sunday would have been our last home church for this month. And so next Sunday, we are meeting together as one big church, and I'm really looking forward to coming together, looking forward to us to worship God together. And we'll do that obviously musically, and we'll do that through sharing. It'll be an opportunity for us to share what God's been saying and doing, maybe a short word, and then just be thinking about, okay, what are we going to be doing as we move into the next month? And just want to encourage you to keep being open to what God says, being open to change. We don't want to just kind of set new formats and new ways of doing things, but just other than it being new, what we do, everything else stays the same. So we're really just trying to seek God each step of the way. So be prepared for things to change and to move. But the heart is not about just what we do, but why we're doing it. Is it because we just want to love God more, and we want to grow in our daily discipleship, encouraging one another to love Jesus more, and to be on a mission to share that love with the people that don't know him. And that's the heart. It's really, this Simply Church really isn't about just what we do, really. It is about why we're doing it, and are we doing it? And of course we want to look at ways to encourage that, but it's primarily about those things and not necessarily what we do. So look out for that. So first Sunday in October, coming together, just a great time to celebrate. We've also got men's weekends coming up, there's youth weekends coming up, so lots of different things to look out for and to plug into, and just keep being encouraged about what God's doing. So I just want to share with you just for a few minutes from the Bible. We're in Esther chapter 8, and as I was thinking about just sharing a short message with you, I was just reminded how inspired and challenged I often am by my children. My children often challenge me quite a bit, not necessarily directly, but just by the way that they live, the way that they're often quite fearless. I'm not saying that they're totally fearless. Of course, they still get worried about what people think, but often I hear them talking about how they read the Bible with their friends at school or share with them. I hear them singing songs just openly about Jesus and not worrying about what others think. They care about what's important and what's right, and they can be quite certainly challenge me in the fact that they don't want to kind of deviate from anything that isn't true and honest and open, and I've really seen that actually it is important that we do things the right way. We do things that are right, and sometimes that can cost us, and even if it costs us, we should still do it. And just one example of that was with Ethan. And just this week, we all had to have PCR tests done. You may have heard Lucy hasn't been well, so we had to get them done. And Ethan had come back from college on Thursday, and I said to him, "Look, we're trying to get your PCR test done tomorrow, Friday." He said, "I've got to be in at college," and I said, "Okay, well, don't worry. I've looked at the guidance. You don't have to have it done because you're under 18. You can still go to college. It's fine. You've got no symptoms. Your lateral flow's negative. I'm come back negative. So, the chances are you're okay. So, carry on." And then he sort of sat for a while and turned around and he said, "But Dad, I think I should do it." And this is a big thing for Ethan, because Ethan is very regimented. He likes to do things right and well. He hates missing college. He hates not doing his work. And so it's a real big sacrifice that he turned around and said, "Look, actually, I just think for the sake of others, I'll miss college and I'll do the PCR test." And then when I took him down in the morning and took him down for their test again, and we were talking about it, and I said, "You didn't have to do it." And he said, "Yeah, no, I feel really bad. Did I make a wrong decision in not going to college but actually going for this test?" And I said, "No, actually, you made the right decision, because you were caring about others and where others were at the cost of your own self." And I said, "That's exactly what Jesus would want." And it just reminded me that decisions that we make aren't supposed to primarily be about what's easy for us or is comfortable for us or what makes us just happy. And I'm not saying God doesn't want us happy, but but actually primarily our decision should be, okay, what most honors God? What most shows that I love him and love the people around me? And I felt that's what Ethan did. And as we've been going through the book of Esther, I really believe we see that. I believe we see that in Queen Esther, we see it in Mordecai, that the decisions they make aren't just easy decisions. They're not what makes their life easy, but they make decisions that will honor God the most and is best for those around them. And you see that right from the beginning with Queen Esther and the ways that she handles herself when she's in the harem and standing before the king, and the way that she conducts herself. We see it with Mordecai, that he won't bow down to the king because he wants to worship God first. And really, it's Mordecai that is the one that causes all the issues, because Haman hates the fact that Mordecai won't bow down, even though he was doing what was right. And so he wants to kill him and the Jews, and you see this big plot of Haman. And as you've seen, though, that as Haman and Esther continue to conduct themselves well, and the queen then throws a banquet for them and has an opportunity to speak to the king. And as we saw last week, right at the very end of it, she's able to speak about the plot, tell the king what was going wrong, and that God uses it to turn the whole situation around, to save Mordecai, to actually put an end to Haman. And as we go on to see now in chapter 8, then the rest of the Jewish nation also benefit from it. And we see that through Queen Esther and Mordecai's decisions, not just to go and take the easy road, but to do what's best and right for God's honor and for the good of their people, it costs them, but it was worth it because God uses it for good. And we see this, as I said, in chapter 8, whereas the queen now speaks to the king and says, there's already letters that have gone out so that the Jews can be attacked. Can we put another letter out to say that they should defend themselves and that they shouldn't be attacked? And the king, like just in the same way that in one day, all this disaster comes upon the Jews, in one day, it all gets sorted out and put right. And we just see how amazing God is at turning things around that look bad, if we're just faithful to walk according to his purposes and his plans in a way that honors him. And right at the end of chapter 8, it says this in verse 15. Then Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal robes of blue and white, with a great golden crown and a robe of fine linen and purple. And the city of Susa shouted and rejoiced. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. In every province and in every city, wherever the king's command and his edict reached, there was gladness and joy among the Jews, a feast and a holy day. And many of the peoples of the country declared themselves Jews, for fear of the Jews had fallen on them. So earlier on, we read that actually Queen Esther gets Haman's house, total turnaround from there. And now the Jews, to be saved, total gladness. There's so many of these Jews, and they're such a powerful nation, and now that they are protected and are not meant to be taken over, all the other people are concerned and actually, no, we want to be like them too. And this is how God works. God works in turning the enemy plan around for good. But the decision is ours in how we live. Are we going to do what is right? Even if it costs, even if it looks like the outcome is not going to be good, and trust God with whatever the outcome is. And like I said to Ethan, even if it comes out that actually, it doesn't work out, you can't go to college and all those things, you've done what's right. You're not responsible for the outcome. You're responsible for doing what's right. And it was him that showed me that, and then I was able to encourage him in it. And the same is for us, and we see the same here in the book of Esther, that God's people are rejoicing because God wins a great victory, because Mordecai and Esther do what's right. So here's the challenge as we go into this next week. Decisions that we make, conversations that we have, things that we do, run after, whatever it might be, let us seek God for what we should be doing. And then let's live in the understanding that whatever God asks of us is best and right, regardless of the outcome. And let's choose to make decisions based on what is right, what most honors God, and what is most best for God and his people and the people around us, and not just what's easy for us. And then let's be convicted and stick with it and persevere with it, knowing that God will be faithful to bring it to the end. And what we see is other people say, the Jews, and the heart is that as we live like this, that other people, not because of us, but because of the Holy Spirit work in their lives, other people will come to faith and begin to follow Jesus too. So be encouraged this week. Do what is right. Honor God, love people, and see and trust God for the outcome and see what he will do with it.